Guys, what's up? Tony from the Outsider channel here with you once again. Today I've got a 50-50 vid for you, a trail guide, which I featured very early on in the channel. My go-to Laguna Beach ride. If you guys have a little bit over an hour and you're in Laguna Beach, this is an awesome one to get to. A lot of you missed it. There's so many new subscribers, so we're doing that again. And also, I've had a rough week, to be honest with you, super stressful, and I needed a go-to ride just to kind of get on the bike, and I wanted to bring you guys along. We'll get more of that on the trail. I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm talking about. I'll let you guys in my little window of my week because this is a weird one for me. And also, if you guys saw the thumbnail, yeah, there's a bird that kind of flew into me and to my bike at the end of the video. Stick around for that. That happened. The bird is fine, but there were no deaths of wildlife in the filming of this video. And if you want to skip my little like vloggy intro when I get onto the trail, feel free to do so. I'll leave a timestamp right after the intro so you can get right to when the trail actually starts. All right, let's get to the vid. All right, per usual on my go-to ride, and a lot of the rides I do at Crystal Cove, Laguna's Wilderness area, or at the Willow Staging area. I say it all the time, but if I can get the climb out of the way first, I'll do it every time. Ooh, look at that right in front of us. One of the rad aspects of mountain biking, the wildlife. So this has been one of those weeks that today I really needed to get on my bike. Obviously, every time we get on our bikes, it's a treat. It's like a meditative release. Some weeks, especially, you just really need to get out there on the bike. And I'm happy to bring you guys along because I didn't know if I was gonna post a video this week. Without getting too specific, it's just like one of those weeks where your stability in life comes into question. Things you kind of take for granted, like your job, finances, family trouble, someone getting sick, you're getting sick. It could be any of those things. I'm always aware that things can change at any second. You know what I mean? Like, so today, I really value this ride. And I value you guys kind of coming along because I do want to share life stuff with you too. And I also know this, everything is relative. It's relative because who knows how people are affected by different issues in life, you know, like an injury, it always can be worse. That Paul Bass documentary on HBO, if you guys haven't seen that, definitely check it out. I'll leave the link in the bottom. Super inspirational. Red Bull Rampage run years ago. He was paralyzed.
I can't move my feet.
With a huge spinal cord injury. From the moment of the crash to present day, he documented his recovery. He was told he was never going to be able to walk again. It's a rough watch. Like, you could choke up a little bit and see what the guy's going through and how personal he is and how open he is with his transition. Like, I'm bringing this up because all of our problems are relative to our own selves. Obviously, no matter what you complain about, you can always say to yourself, well, it always can be worse. Sure, but that doesn't mean you don't deserve to feel the way you do. You're only dealing with what you're dealing with. If it can be worse, and maybe it will, you'll deal with that then. But in the moment, what helps people get through things is accepting it and not trying to brush it off as like, oh, whatever. It can always be worse. I'm gonna shove this under the carpet, my stress, me being upset. I don't deserve to feel that. No, that's a bunch of crap. Feel it, and tomorrow's a new day, and you wake up and maybe you can ride your friggin' bike and be outside. I wanna be open with you guys because life's happening around these videos. Everything is good. I'm kind of like going on about this, but it got me into deeper thinking this week of like, don't discount what you feel like in your own life. You're dealing with something just like hundreds and thousands of millions of other people are dealing with it. Like, you don't see it on their faces at work. You don't see it on their Instagram. Everybody goes through the crap and deal with it in their own ways, and some push it out, which is unhealthy. So going into next week, things are looking much better. The stress will subside, but this week I'm living in it and got thrown off for a bit. So cheers to the future. Cheers to this ride. Thanks to you guys for sticking around and listening to my, whatever you want to call it. All right, back in trail guide mode, right on Bomber Spur. Using two brains today. I'm like in thought process about my week talking to you guys, and I'm like, oh wait, we gotta take a right. Wait, we're doing a trail guide. Don't worry, I'm on it. Off Bomber, we're taking a left into Crystal Cove State Park officially, onto for just a few hundred yards. Cresting on the first little climb, we're gonna take a right. Man, it's so nice out. One of my favorite views in Laguna. So let's just take a second and take it in. All right, dropped in the fence line. And I will say, I'm not gonna show the entire trail, the first 2 descents we're doing, because I've shown them quite a bit on the channel. So I'm gonna do some choppy editing here so we can speed things up to the second half of this ride. So I've only featured that maybe once or twice. And it was a while ago. We're coming to another crossing, which I usually take, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you guys a quick little shortcut to get to Lizard, which is where we're headed after this. In case you don't want to go around and take this single track to the end, just head up to the right, jump on this fire road, turns right into Bomber, and Lizard's going to be on your right hand side. And let's just jump right into it. Hey, how are you? Thanks. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. Oof, that was a hard landing. I usually try to land in that pocket after the jump. That time I tried to clear it without enough speed. Landed in the upswing. You guys get the idea, you saw it. And this is where the trail traverses into a completely different trail. Bottom half of Lizard, you're in the canyon, in the shade. Hi. Okay, I'm talking to the camera, not myself. Double warning there. I'm solo and I'm not crazy. All right, let's drop into the second half of Lizard. And then we're gonna be taking a left instead of our usual right to hit up a different section of the Laguna we've only been to a couple times. Woo! Off the line right there. Rider. At this point on, we're taking a left down Laurel Spur instead of our usual right because we're hitting a different section altogether. I started this channel kind of as a fun experiment. It quickly grew a year later into this entity, this thing with all of you guys. Caught me off guard, even though it was a gradual thing, but there's a lot of you in there. One of the things I didn't think about when I'm working on the videos and putting more time into them, learning a lot, is the YouTube game. The title, the thumbnail, the clickbait game is real, and I've done my best to stay away from that best I can. And I think I've done a pretty good job, but we're banging it right in Serrano and we're heading right under the 73. Bit of a crossover here. Alan and I kind of have this ongoing banter joke over text, like, sorry Alan, I'm telling secrets. Did I just ride Aaron Gwynn's bike? Did Richie Rue just pass Aaron Gwynn at Snow Summit? Did Aaron Gwynn just tell me a secret? Ah man, I'm talking smack, you guys, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm venting today. All right, back to trail guide mode. Let's get back to it. Outsider style, here we go. Now, you know that sounds weird calling myself that. Just took a right. I'll put the trail name in the bottom left there because I don't want to take my hand off to point at it right now. That is in definite need of some berms. It almost feels like they should be there, but they're not quite there. Still fun nonetheless. This used to be a fire road, so I appreciate the work that the rangers and the community have done on this. I'm not taking away from that. All right, this trail's super fun. Remember, there was a video last year I was riding this with Alan, had a freak accident and broke my handlebars in half.
Oh shit. Dude, I think you're done for the day.
Speak of the devil, this is the section that took me out. It's a sneaky line there. All right, trying to get my momentum back. Whew. That's the difficult line. You don't have to take that one. You can go to the right-hand side of that, but if you got it in you, take the left-hand side. If I remember right, there's a drop here on the right-hand side. There's friggin' sugar bushes in the way. They're not called sugar bushes. From now on, those are sugar bushes. Oh man, needed this ride. Isn't it crazy how much a ride can change your brain? There's just something about it. Coming off Camarillo Trail onto, this is where you make that bit of a turnaround and head back to Willow staging area where we parked. One of the reasons this loop is so convenient and fun is it drops you off in the parking lot. Oh, they cleared this away. This was pretty overgrown a couple months back. Getting sticks in the face. And there's the 133 on their left. So they just ran over some dog crap. Hopefully they didn't catch in my tread and slingshot onto my back. Speaking of dog poop, Pitt's been doing this thing where he's been pooping in the laundry room. This dude went from pooping once a day to a 3 times a day daily. What the hell's going on? More dog poop. Isn't it crazy when you focus on something like that, you see it everywhere? I got a Tacoma, not to compare to dog poop, because it's definitely not that. And every time I look up, there's a Tacoma on the road. Didn't see it before. Well, I didn't notice them as much. Another reason I really like this ride, you get a lot of bang for your buck on this thing. How much downhill you get in that hour ride, a lot of other places here, half that's gonna be taken up by climbing and then very quick steep descents, which is awesome, but this one, the grade's a little more windy, and which makes for a longer lasting descent. Let's keep it going. Why not? A little wall ride. Smack a left. Watch out for hikers in this last bit. I say that all the time, but I mean it every time. Whoa! Did Aaron Gwynn just ride that bird? That was crazy. I'm gonna have to check the footage on that one. Thanks for joining me once again. Thanks for listening to my rants today. Hopefully you got some value out of this trail guide. New videos every week. Like, subscribe, leave your comments in the section below. I get to every single one of them. And with that, I'll see you guys next week.